Now, I'm sure you guys know who Steven Crowder is. Now, I was watching one of his Change My Mind segments because a viewer sent it to me and he said, yo, check this out because it shows that Crowder lost this one. And I think he probably did. Now, what you guys are going to be seeing really quickly here is check out right now what I think is something that makes him a complete hypocrite and shows him being massively triggered. Check that out here, and we'll come back and talk about it.
With that,
if you don't pay taxes, you're going to have other forms of violence that arise spontaneously. This sort of autistic libertarian idea of, oh, you can have a non-aggression.
Stop it! He's been watching Matt Damon videos. Continue.
This idea of a non-aggression principle is just fantasy. Okay, you have to have.
Describe to me. You just said autistic, and
Yes.
this was very civil until you brought that up. Define autistic here.
Well, it tends to be characterized by an overemphasis on logic and philosophy as opposed to reality. You know, it's very easy to argue from syllogisms and axioms and all that.
So hold on a second, I want to make sure, before you move, because what you do is you speak in these paragraphs. We need to determine what these definitions are. I think we both agree that's fair.
Fine.
Okay, so you just said that autism, if I'm not mistaken, and I would love for you to bring this up, is rooted more in philosophy and theology than facts? Than logic or reason?
Logic, syllogisms, that sort of thing.
That's what you believe is the definition of autism?
Well, because it leads you down these intellectual...
No, do you believe that's the definition of autism?
No,
No, you
I'm
don't.
using it in an informal way.
Okay, so you're using it in an insulting way.
You could say that.
Okay.
A little bit of banter.
A little bit of, yeah. Well, we don't call that friendly banter generally.
Okay.
We call that being a dick. So I want to go back to hopefully keeping it civil. You know, I wouldn't.
You're not going to get it if you shill for the capitalists.
Well,
they're against you.
Define shill.
Well, if you're
I know you like to sound really intelligent by speaking in paragraphs. One thing, you've misused words several times. And if someone were to call you on it and be as rude as you are, you might look what you might refer to as stupid.
Okay.
So saying autistic or shill, define, because it's a very specific definition. You came in and just said shill. And I'm really quickly get ready to give the microphone to someone else. If you don't stop doing this, because this isn't the goal of this, what's a shill?
Well, I think you're getting upset because you're losing the debate. But
That's fair. What's a shill? No. The person losing the debate is the one who refers the other person as autistic and a shill. That's generally a good sign. So what's a shill?
I don't have the exact definition, but essentially someone who's, I guess, pushing or advancing somebody else's interests, I suppose.
For profit.
Fair enough. But a lot of these conservatives who...
Well, you're not talking to these conservatives, you're talking to me. This isn't a performance, Paul, here. That's why we're doing this out here. This is a conversation. You're talking to me. I just said that I'm against illegal immigration. It's okay. You can look me in the eyes. I'm not mad at you. I just think it's rude. It's okay. Don't worry. I mean, we're okay. I'm used to people being rude to me. I'm sure you're probably aware of this to one degree or another. Let's move back to, again, Norway.
So a lot of Steven Crowder's own viewers were going after him for this one. Now, first of all, Yusuf wasn't calling Steven Crowder autistic, but rather the ideology. And also, shill is a very, 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 mild word. Autistic, I could kind of see where you could kind of get that if you were in an actual respectable debate. But when you're Steven Crowder and you have the historical context and that kind of a history, that's not something that should really trigger you. Now, let's look at what was said by Steven Crowder here. Check it out.
Look, they're confused. You know why? Because I'm not your gender studies professor who has to cater to your trigger warning, microaggression, safe space bullshit. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to come out and tell a few jokes. You created this monster. We have to go. 10 more minutes of this. Let this reverberate. Let it be a life lesson. This monster right here that you're so afraid of, the face you see in your nightmares, was created by social justice warrior assholes like you. And now you have this wonderful faggot. That's what happens. We okay? We good? Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Darling, you can call me what you like.
Oh, okay, there we go. Crying out loud, listen. Nobody here wants to hear your opinion that much. And here's what's so crazy. You couldn't wait 5 minutes. Unlike leftists, we have an open panel and a Q&A session because we want an open idea. Oh, I'm a racist. There you go. That's a new one. Where'd you learn that one in Social Human Studies 101?
So who's being the fruitcake social justice warrior liberal that you're talking about now, Steven Crowder, because I'd love to know. Because in that one, you call Milo, I forget what it was. You say like call him a faggot or something like that, and you think that you're all edgy and an edgester. But when someone else does it in a conversation with you, in which I don't even think that it was really all that malicious, especially not shill. Autistic, maybe it's towing the line, but again, like I said, with somebody with the historical context like Steven fucking Crowder and the clip I just showed you, how can you be the person who says, oh, you SJW liberal fruitcakes and your trigger warnings and safe spaces, and then you call Milo whatever thing that you said, and then you go on to say, oh yeah, are you bothered by that? Milo goes, no. So why can't you live up to your own fucking standard? Because to me, it seems at this point, you're just trying to score well, two things. I want to say two things about this. Number one, it seems like you're just trying to, score these kind of debate points. But number two, I wanted to say that you were losing that debate. And that's the truth behind it, right? You were losing that debate and you found a way to get out of it. You used the autistic joke like 20 seconds later for a laugh, or like a minute later or something like that. So Steven Crowder, he's just trying to ride this wave, this anti-SJW wave. And then it's self-evident by the fact that he doesn't even live up to his own fucking standards, man.